Hello, hockey fans. Welcome back. My name is Josh. Today is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022, and my goodness, did we have some excellent hockey games on the slate this evening. We're going to walk through all those today on this episode. We're going to walk through all the scores. We're going to get my reactions to all the excellent games tonight. My goodness, if last night's theme was blowouts, I think tonight's theme was a little better. So we are also going to round out the video with another article deep dive. We are stepping away from The Athletic this evening. We are going to jump into an article from TSN. So I'm really excited to hop into that. It does line up with last night's theme of blowouts. So we're gonna dive into that a little deeper. That's by the excellent writer Travis Yost from TSN. So I'm very excited to dive more into that with you guys. But without further ado, let's jump into the news of the day and evening, the scores, and let's get our reactions, okay? So we did have 4 games on the slate this evening, and they did not disappoint. We had the Penguins, Rangers, Capitals, Panthers, Predators, Avalanche, and Stars, Flames. And right off the top, like I mentioned, last night's theme, we had three blowouts. Well, not tonight. We had one. My goodness, the Avalanche. They looked really good. Cale Makar and the Avalanche. Makar had 3 points in the first period. That's a little ridiculous. And good for the Avs. They needed to make a statement tonight. I tweeted that earlier. That it'd be really cool to see the Avs. Just kind of shut some people up, right? They've been catching some heat for not doing too well in the playoffs the last couple of years. Let's change that this year. Why not? Why not, right? I wouldn't mind an Oilers Avs Western Conference Finals. Let's do that. So the game went wonderful for them. Ended up 7-2. Nashville. Sorry guys. Without Saros, it's tough. It's tough. Backup goaltender tonight, he struggled a little bit. 5 goals in the first period. The Avs were up 5-0 before the Penguins Rangers even ended their first overtime period. So overall, great game from the Avs. Excellent momentum moving into game 2, as we'll see in that article by Travis. Good things to come for the Avs. Probably history is on their side here for at least this round. But we also had the Caps, Panthers, Stars, Flames, and Penguins, Rangers. We'll briefly touch on the Stars, Flames. That was the evening game tonight. Ended last this evening. Flames came out on top, 1-0. Good for the Flames. They're a good team. All year they've just been playing really, really well. So good for them. But Stars, kept it close. Good for them. 1-0. Game was close, back and forth. So good for both teams. Should be a good competitive series. Again, we'll kind of look at the numbers and see what this close game does for these two. So moving on to definitely, in my opinion, the games of the evening. We had the Caps and Panthers and Penguins Rangers. We're going to jump into this epic game, the Penguins and Rangers. We ended up going 3 overtimes. 3 overtimes. And these aren't your regular season overtime periods, 3-on-3, short, 5 minutes, something like that. This is full-on 20-minute overtime periods. So the fact that they went 2 full 20-minute extra periods is absolutely insane. Great game, back and forth, and especially with how this game started, New York came out humming. Tell you what, they could have put four up easily in that first period. Penguins, though, credit to them, credit where credit is due. They played excellent tonight. They came back well. Casey DeSmith, my goodness, guy was excellent. Unfortunately, had to leave with an injury at the end of the game. But they're I guess third string goalie at this point. Boy, he stepped up for them when they needed it. It really felt like the Rangers were going to finally break through there at the end of that second overtime, but nope. They held strong, and Penguins came through. So I really look forward to the rest of this series. I'm more of a happy neutral when it comes to this. Madison Square Garden, the Garden is definitely on my hockey bucket list. But so that was a great game. Good for those fans. I feel bad for you East Coast folks. Goodness, it was, I believe, after midnight when that game ended. So going to be some tired folks in the morning, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. The other big game of the evening, myself, A lot of people out here kind of wrote the Caps off. I had the Panthers sweeping them, and my goodness, they made me look silly. Olympic legend TJ Oshie scores the game-winning goal, puts them up 3-2. An empty netter caps it off 4-2. I don't know. Panthers, man, defensively, Ekblad, I only caught a little bit of it, but him coming back into the fray, always introducing new people, it can have an impact. So I wouldn't panic by any means. It's tough. Game one. This isn't a blowout though. It's still close. So as we'll see, the numbers, still, it's okay. We'll just put it that we'll leave it at that. Excuse me. The Panthers, I think you'll be fine. You know what? Let's 1-5. How about we rattle off 4 straight? We know that offense is capable defensively if they can hold steady and they can get some good goaltending. Bobrovsky, excuse me, goodness, tongue twister. He played well, but it's tough. Caps, are they a playoff team? Are they built for the playoffs? They are big. They're fast. Tom Wilson came out, scored the opening goal. Good for them. So overall, it was an excellent night of hockey. No disappointments whatsoever. Even Avs Predators. If you're a Preds fan, my heart goes out to you a little bit. But game 2 Thursday night should be wonderful. So we'll be back tomorrow to talk game 2s for the other groups from Monday. So very excited for that. But overall, what a wonderful night of hockey. I don't know how you could be disappointed, even if you're on the losing end. You can find some positives in the rest of this. But good for the sport of hockey. Good for the NHL. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's jump into our article of the day, brought to us by TSN. It's going to be entitled "Lessons Can Be Learned from a Game 1 Blowout." This is by Travis Yost, as I previously mentioned, and Travis does a wonderful job going through does a Game 1 blowout have an impact? And he does an excellent job of walking through both sides. Does it have an impact on the winning team, the losing team? He also did a really good job about breaking it down into the short-term and the long-term impact as well in regards to the series. So not just the impact overall, but what does a Game 1 blowout win, how does that impact Game 2? But he also didn't stop there. How does that impact the entire series? He continued into that as well. So this article is a tad on the shorter side for our articles. So definitely, if you have just a small amount of time, I would highly encourage it. I'll leave the link in the description as always for you to find this one. This one is free, just on tsn.com, but a great read. But in summation, the overall message of the article was yes, a blowout in Game 1 does have an impact for the winning team. As the slides mention here, we are looking at 80% of the time the winning team advances when it's a blowout versus 65% of the time if the game is close. So for you fans last night that were on the winning end of those blowouts, that bodes well for you. That means 80% of the chance, 80% of the time, you guys are going to advance in the series. So good for you. But for us, that may have been on the losing end of not the blowout. Oilers, it was a close one, and it's gonna be a bloodbath, right? We're gonna go back and forth with them, but that's okay. I'd rather be on that 65% than the 80 if I'm going to look glass half full in this regard. But overall, a blowout in Game 1 did have an impact. In the short term, the chances of winning Game 2 did go up, and in the long term, the chances of winning the entire series and moving on and advancing did also go up. So good for you guys. Good for you teams that won last night and tonight. Game 1, it's important. Sports, you every series is important, every game's important, so of course we're not telling you anything new, but it was interesting to get to see the numbers behind it and actually see that, oh yeah, there is a pretty big percentage change when you do blow someone out versus if you just win close. So yeah, this was an excellent article, again on the shorter side, so if you don't have too much time, this might be perfect for you, but again, another excellent article, this one by Travis Yost. I look forward, hopefully we'll get to dive into more of his work along this journey. But again, Game 1 blowouts, it does matter. Is this expected? For myself, it doesn't feel that surprising, right? Just my experience in sports, across all different sports. Game 1, it obviously has an impact. It's going to impact the momentum, the morale. Some teams can rally around this, right? Other teams, they're going to crumble. So we'll see what everyone's made of as the series progresses. So I'm excited, but again, just an excellent night of hockey, and I appreciate you guys joining me and walking through all of this, my reactions to all the games. Man, I look forward to tomorrow night's Game 2s. A lot of exciting things on the docket. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me. You can always catch me over on Twitter at the HockeyFlow22. I'm always talking hockey with someone over there. So, but until next time, cheers.